Good evening from Sweden, and welcome to today's video, which is about the importance of staying consistent in our spiritual practice. So, as with everything else, it is always important with consistency if we want a lasting result. And just as if you want to grow something in nature, you have to stay consistent for it to grow with, like, you have to stay consistent with watering, and that it has to have enough sun and all of that. You cannot water it a lot one day and then just ignore it for the other days. You have to be consistent. And it's the same thing with our spiritual practice. If we want it to have any form of effect on us, that is a true effect, and if we want to experience a real change, then it does require that we treat it as everything else in life that needs to have daily attention. For example, our bodies, we have to eat and drink something every day in order to survive, right? Or maybe not in order to survive, but we need to eat and drink every day if we want to feel good. And the same thing if it is about any relationship with somebody. You need to stay consistent with it, and pay attention to it and nurture it in order for it to have, how can I say, in order for it to still be a relationship of value. And with everything, if you want to take care of, if you want a healthy body, you have to stay consistent at your physical training. So it is the same principle with everything, but oftentimes people treat spiritual practice as something that they feel to do at times, and then when the hard times comes, then they go back and do what they want to do. They stuff themselves with food instead of meeting their feelings and emotions and go to God. They take the escape that they always have used, and then unfortunately miss out of what spirituality actually can give them if they take the chance and dare to be in the pain and do the principles consequently, or consistently. And it is in the challenges and where we don't want to do it, where we have the greatest chance to grow. That is where we build our character. That is where we overcome ourselves and become something else. It is in those tough times when we really don't feel like it, that it is where we actually choose to change or not. Otherwise, spirituality will just be a hobby, and we will never get true value of it. And that is why it is important to stay consistent, that no matter what, we do the spiritual practice, we follow the spiritual principles as good as we can. Doesn't mean that we are perfect. It just means that we are choosing to do the next right thing as good as we can, and we stay conscious as we can, at least, about what kind of choices that we are making, and we are staying true to ourselves. Even though that the truth may not be very flattering at times, it is still, if we want a life of value, it has to be built on truth, no matter if it is a truth that we are not very proud of. Because we can never escape the truth. The truth is always the truth, and you can try to make it prettier than it is, by lying to yourself about things, but in the end, the truth will always, you always know the truth. So it's better to bring it out in the light as soon as possible, because we cannot escape the truth. So this is the cornerstone in spirituality, that if we just stay true, we will stay close to God. We have nothing to fear when we are just true, but we have everything to fear if we lie. But we act according to if it was the opposite many times. We try to lie to ourselves because we are afraid of the consequences, but it is actually when we lie to ourselves that the greatest consequences manifests, because the foundation was not a solid one. And just like a house or anything you want to build, the foundation must be strong for it to hold. Otherwise, it will fall when the wind comes. When the wind blows, it would just fall down. And it's the same thing with us. We can pretend we are something that we are not. We can pretend we are stronger than we are. We can pretend we are more secure than we are. But if the slightest storm appear, we cannot hide, and yeah, it is actually also in the vulnerability that we will experience true strength. At least that is my experience, that vulnerability is not weakness. In the vulnerability, when we dare to be honest, lies an immense strength. But I will not go into that now, because then it will be a totally new subject. But yeah, that was what I was thinking about today. I love you, and I wish you a beautiful evening.